So the Switch 2, it's about that time. Let's get into it. What up, y'all? Welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, I go by the name of OGTV, OlympusGamingTV. Salute to all my followers who've been rocking with me this far. Yo, I know y'all be like, yo, where this dude been? I haven't seen this dude in like a month or two. Listen, when you're doing university work, that is like another job. Like working full-time and going to university, that is tough. So I haven't had much time to play any sort of video games, even like catch up with y'all on Twitch. Like I just been out of the loop. So trust me guys, once this workload is a little bit lowered, I'll be putting out more content because I got some stuff I want to work on. But time, time when you're trying to, set up your life, it gets rough out here for gaming. So, that's where I've been. So university has been taking up a lot of my time. Shout out to Florida International. But yeah, that's what I've been doing. So I think you guys are bearing with me, but that is not why y'all are here. Y'all are not here for a life update. You are here for a Switch 2 overview. So that's exactly what I'm gonna give you guys. So let's get into it. So as you all know, the Switch 2 Direct was a couple of days ago from the time of this recording. I wanted to put out a video the day that it happened, but of course I had other things going on, so I really couldn't get to it until now. So I want to go ahead and give my quick thoughts on the overall presentation, the Switch 2 as a whole, and what I'm looking forward to, and my overall thoughts on everything. So just like everybody else is sharing their thoughts, why not give my 2 cents? And speaking of that, let me give a quick shout out and a plug to my guy Sensi over his channel. He did a very dope video of the Switch 2 as well. And my boy Childish Guy, shout out to you. I'm gonna go ahead and drop your 2 links down in the description. So if you guys want to check out some of my friends of the channels and their opinions on the Switch 2, by all means show them some love, tell them I sent you. Yeah. So let's jump right into it. And I want to kind of break this up into like 3 different categories. So the first thing is, let's start with the hardware. So number 1, the Switch 2 is exactly what I predicted it was going to be. A better Switch 1. If it's not broke, why fix it? So this time, I'm gonna put in the description where you can look at the actual official specifications if you're into specs. But it looks like we're gonna be getting 4K output. We're gonna be getting 120 hertz screen in handheld mode, 1080p screen. It's not OLED, it's actually like a vivid LCD, which, whatever, say what you want about that. But it looks like we're gonna be getting some very, very nice ports like Elden Ring, Street Fighter 6. And also, the Nintendo games are gonna run beautifully. Nintendo always does a great job with their own hardware. So as far as the hardware is concerned, some very exciting things are coming to the Switch 2. I'm glad that Nintendo is finally embracing 4K and high frame rates. So, games like Metroid Prime 4, Bayonetta 3, that's going to get an upgrade. Tears of the Kingdom, Breath of the Wild, all those games are going to look amazing. And now with the HDR support, it's going to look even better. So guys, if you haven't already got your 4K HDR monitors, now is a good time to get them, especially with these tariffs about to happen. We don't know what's going to happen with that, but now is a great time to invest in a 4K HDR monitor if you haven't already, or a television, or whatever you play on. So I am excited for that. It means your game's going to look very vivid, going to look very, very, very beautiful on these displays. So I'm very excited to revisit some of my favorite Switch games, and some games I have yet to play. Like I have yet to play Tears of the Kingdom, and I probably won't buy it until I get a Switch 2. So I am excited about that. Also, the 1080p in handheld mode is nice. I know the battery life is going to take a hit. I did see a report that the battery life is not that great on the Switch 2, which is a bummer. But I am happy to see that we have a bigger display in 1080p. And also the Joy-Con features. The Joy-Con features are pretty cool with the mouse mode, improved gyroscopes and all that. Now, me personally, I'm not really a big Joy-Con guy. I usually opt for like a Pro controller or one of the Hori controllers. But for those who love playing with the Joy-Cons, in handheld mode, or, whether you just prefer to play with the Joy-Cons in general, they did make some pretty good improvements with that. So shout out to Nintendo. I think the hardware is great. I know the asking price for this console is $450, which I don't think is outrageous personally. But I know there was a lot of backlash with the pricing and all that, and we'll get into that a little bit later. But as far as the hardware, it is exactly what I thought it was going to be. A better Switch 1. It's a hybrid console. You can play it at home, you can play it on the go, and I'm pretty sure, a lot of you guys are going to enjoy those features. So I don't really have much to say about it. I'm happy to see that, we have, 60 frames per second of 4K, and I'm excited. I'm really excited to see what Nintendo's going to do with this improved hardware. So yeah. Now the next thing, let's talk about the games. Now, you know, if you are an avid gamer, you know, more than likely you own more than one console, whether that's PlayStation, Xbox, PC, and then Nintendo. You always buy, at least for me, I always buy the Nintendo games or the Nintendo consoles for the Nintendo games. So when I buy a Nintendo console, I'm not really thinking third party unless it's exclusive to that platform. So there are some exceptions to that. You know, every now and then Nintendo will get like a third party exclusive, and it's really dope. So, but with the Switch, now that Nintendo is embracing more powerful hardware, I am very excited to see what comes out of that. You know, of course, we have Mario Kart Worlds, which look amazing. That's definitely going to be a day one buy. I'm probably just going to go ahead and just buy the $500 bundle personally, because I do want to play Mario Kart World when that drops, and I want to play with you guys online, also for you early adopters out there. The Donkey Kong open world game looks amazing. You know, a lot of people are saying that's pretty much Mario Odyssey 2. That game looks great. Just Tears of the Kingdom, you know, again, that's a game that I missed out on the original Switch just due to time constraints, but now that it's getting an updated version on the Switch, that is something I'm looking forward to. The only kind of thing I saw people complaining about is like that tech demo, Welcome to Switch or something like that, where Nintendo's actually charging for that. I don't think anybody's going to buy it, but I do feel, this is just a hunch, if Nintendo doesn't end up giving that game for free, that game is probably going to be like a collector's item like 10 years from now. Like, I feel like only diehards are going to buy it. It's going to be like a game that only so many people own or whatever, but hey, what can you say? But I guess now with the game keys, I guess physical media is no longer going to be a big priority, so you know, that's how you feel about that. But yeah, as far as the first party games, you know, Metroid Prime 4, Mario Kart Worlds, the Donkey Kong game, Tears of the Kingdom, the updated games, the new Hyrule Warriors, like there's so many games that I'm going to be looking forward to from Nintendo. And you know, again, you buy the Nintendo consoles for the Nintendo first party titles, and I'm really looking forward to see what these guys are going to do with this improved hardware. So yeah. All right, the next thing is price. So again, we established that the Nintendo itself is going to cost $450 or $499 if you get the bundle. But the games themselves, Nintendo is charging $70, $80, $90 for these games. And, you know, obviously that's going to get a lot of pushback. You know, I saw a lot of people saying in the chats and Nintendo's social media feeds that, hey, drop the price, drop the price, drop the price. Now, as a consumer, I do get it. It is hard out here, yo. Like everything's going up, groceries going up, rent is going up, cost of living is going up. We got tariffs here. Everything is kind of crazy. So from a consumer standpoint, I do want Nintendo to make these games more accessible because their age range for the players are, you know, it's wide. You know, you have players as young as 6 all the way up to like 40 or higher than that. So I do want the games to be accessible enough for the youngins to take part into it. But again, I do understand that production costs for these games and the tariffs, that's going to have a lot of effects and things like that. So we'll see how the pricing pans out. I do have a feeling that a lot of people on YouTube and Twitter who are saying, I'm not buying it, y'all are going to buy it. I promise you, like everybody who's saying that they're not going to buy it, they're going to boycott Nintendo, I can almost promise you it's going to be sold out. Like I'm not saying that I'm not going to call cap on y'all, but if you're saying I'm not going to buy it and I see you day one playing Mario Kart Worlds, like, come on, dog. Like, let's just be real. When it comes to Nintendo, I think people will make exceptions for them. Now, not to say it's right, you know, but I'm just saying, like, I think a lot of people are just that initial outrage right now that people are feeling. Like, I get it. I remember when like the PS4 came out and games went from 50 to 60 and people were mad about that, or in the PS5 when games went from 60 to 70 and people were outraged about that. But yet people still bought these games. So I don't know. We'll see what happens with that, but yeah. All right, guys, so that's all I wanted to do. I just want to hop on camera really quick and just share my quick thoughts on the Nintendo Direct, the Switch 2, the games coming out, what I'm looking forward to. Yeah, guys, I want to hear from y'all. So if you guys have any comments or anything that you want to share, your thoughts about the Nintendo Switch 2, drop them down below. As you guys know, I will respond, heart, thumbs up, everything. But I want you guys to do the same. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and drop a comment down below, get engaged with the community, drop a like, subscribe, comment, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys next video, whenever that may be. Salute. Shout out to y'all, man. Peace.